Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for your attention again, and I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all of you who have subscribed to my YouTube channel by pressing the subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload informative, knowledge based video, legal information, legal knowledge, in fact, legal interpretation of, in particular, the Environmental Quality Act 1974, and right now on Clean Air Regulation, you will be the first ones who will be getting the video and benefit from it. And you can use this video the way you like it. You can present this video for your own so-called training when you have to train people, your own colleagues, your co-workers, your subcontractors, your suppliers, your vendors, etc. I claim no copyright. I want this knowledge to be comprehensible in your hands, in your good hands, in your good keeping. You can modify with your own video, or you can just shoot this video on the wall, let them hear, and then you answer on the Q&A session. All right. So thank you for the support. For those who have subscribed, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you with all happiness in this world and the world after. Okay. First Muharram 1442 is today. This is my second video for the day. Now, some of us has got caught for having in operation, and in fact one of them was not in operation, of what is called fuel burning equipment. There you are. This is not a Federal Bureau of Examiners. Okay, this is fuel burning equipment regulated under the Clean Air Regulations 2014 of Malaysia, and they were being taken action under the second schedule. For what? We'll take a look. Now, if you are ready, I believe you have seen the earlier video, which is caught for the FBE part 1, where it was a lengthy video because I have to explain a lot of things, and there are still things which I've left out, which are quite minor but significant in a long term. But never mind, you can use the comment column below, all right? And comment and ask question. We can interact, and all the other netizens, followers and subscribers of this channel can participate and help each other. We help each other. It's about time that we do it at a higher level. I'm trying to nurture that, well, a little bit from my capacity, and my knowledge is rather limited. All right, now, how are they caught? Let's take a look. Notification is required. Really? There you are. What about the smaller ones? Do they require notification? You better check Regulation 3, Clean Air Regulation 2014. I believe we have all the answers there. And this is where I have to implore, especially business enterprises, new entrepreneurs who just got Class F construction license by the government, under the government, etc. And for those who are working for the main contractor, especially in the development and construction of infrastructures. This country is developed in a speedy manner, despite we were locked down earlier in the MCO, and today the government allows us to continue businesses and construction is being allowed. So please do not forget the fact that we are subscribing to this particular law. We are subscribing to the Clean Air Regulation second schedule. Now, remember the first video? I hope you were there in the first video. Look, this is for big fuel burning equipment. Remember, you've got a boiler, you've got a heater, a thermal oil heater, or a furnace, or an arc furnace, or a cupola furnace, or a burner, or an incinerator, of what sort, including crematoria. All right. Now, when it is huge, when they use solid fuel equivalent to or more than 30 kilogram per hour, that is the fuel consumption per hour. It is actually mass per time, which is loading. All right. And if they use solid fuel, like I think you know solid fuel by now, I've explained that in part one. Um, Charcoal, coal stone, um, sawdust, wood chips, and even sometimes they're using shredded used old tires, which is good. Even solvent, that is under liquid fuel, sorry, what they call coconut shell, coconut husk, the fibers of palm oil, empty fruit bunch, and all this. These are all solid fuel, and if that equipment is using more than or equivalent to 30 kilogram per hour, they are huge, and definitely they must be parts of the entire factory notification. So when this factory, including existing factory, coming into force of this 2014 regulation clean air, please refurbish your information. Please update all your operational information, your factory layout, your site plan, your machine layout, your drawings, your building drawings, including those renovations that you have made over the years, and submit a notification to DOE whereby in that document, you have included all the new structures, including this fuel burning equipment. Of course, I know you have been given KB before. I know you have been issued KB, kelulusan bertulis, or written approval, or kebenaran bertulis, written permission under the old law. I know. But remember, come June 6, 2019, those old law, Clean Air Regulation 1978, and the old KB is obsolete. According to Regulation 30, Clean Air Regulation, nonetheless, you submit to DOE the notification and let DOE decide whether to use the old standard if it's convenient or if it is appropriate, and to use the new standard. Legally, it's a new standard that comes in, and some of you has got EIA approval. So let DOE makes decision whether or not your old EIA approval is still standing, still applicable, still relevant. Let the DOE decide in black and white. You don't decide. All right. And please remember, officers keep changing from time to time. So make sure you got a standard document, a standard legible approval from the DOE. I hope you understand that. All right. So I'm trying to help you to ensure that your approval letters, your compliance effort is on the mainstream, not to deviate. So, therefore, does it require notification? The answer is yes, under Regulation 3 of the Clean Air Regulation. Now, let's take a look. What about the emission standard? This is why we are here. Look. For this huge genset, burners, furnaces, thermal oil heaters, the law has stipulated specific environmental parameters for them. So they don't have much headache. It is a good thing because the law has been developed through years, more than 3 decades of study, not just by our experts in this country, but all over the world, especially in Scandinavian countries, US, EPA, and Japan. So they came together and they have our local government, our government have decided to have this. And I look at this law, it is good, except for some notes underneath those tables, which is quite disturbing and confusing at times. You got to negotiate and ask, have a dialogue with the DOE and listen to them. Okay, the DOE is entrusted to enforce the law. Listen to them, and whatever decision made thereof has got to be in black and white, like the Bandera of Terengganu, or what has been sung by Michael Jackson, black and white. Okay, black or white. Okay, now the emission standard is the second schedule. We'll look into the standards most likely, inshallah, in the next video, because it's quite lengthy. There's certain things, technicalities that I need to discuss. All right, so that is in second schedule. The emissions from all these huge fuel burning equipment is in second schedule, and yes, it is requiring notification. Dan kau tim de. Okay, now let's take a look at a smaller one. Look, these are smaller ones. Also using fuel, also solid and liquid. Look, in the first one, remember now, the big one, the fuel quality is regulated. Do you remember first video, the sulfur content? What about this? What about the smaller? Is the fuel quality regulated? Is there any restriction on the sulfur content for the liquid fuel, for the diesel, for the kerosene, for the light fuel oil, for the medium fuel oil, etc.? Is there a requirement? Answer is no. Got it? But the huge one, the one above, yes, is regulated. Sulfur content in fuel is being regulated as discussed in part 1. Now, for this part 2, the smaller fuel burning equipment using solids less than 30 kilogram per hour, liquid fuel, kerosene, diesel, etc. less than 15 kilogram per hour. Does it require notification? The answer is yes, my friend. It still do require notification to DOE. As long as this equipment is being used by industrial and business premises. Got it? If your grandfather goes fishing with me in the middle of the darkest night and he carries with him a portable genset, petrol fuel genset. Why? We need to lit up a bulb because we want to catch squid. Candat sotong. Okay, I think the bahasa Melayu, you understand, mencandat sotong, to catch squid. You don't catch squid in the bright moonlight. Kita tak tangkap sotong waktu bulan terang. Siapa buat kerja tu berat nanang. Okay. So kita candat sotong in the darkest night. Bawa genset, turn on. Why we want to candat sotong? Because my grandmother, the wife of my grandfather, wanted to eat squid. So we bring it to the jetty, ride our bicycle in the middle of the night with that portable genset, turn it on at the jetty, we just catch squid. That sort of personal use genset is not regulated under this law and does not require notification to DOE. If I'm wrong, let the DOE correct me and I will admit it. But so far in the law, it is not stated smaller genset used for personal intention other than businesses, other than trading, other than industry require notification. It's a personal equipment used for personal consumption. This squid is brought back home. My grandmother cook, fry, make dishes out of fresh squid. Goodness, the taste of squid in the east coast of Malaysia is beyond compare. Mm. Dah lama tak makan sotong sebenarnya. Kalau ada beritahu lah. Okay. Now, that particular sort of portable genset doesn't require notification. And we don't have to do emission testing. However, on the other hand, if we have smaller genset, smaller fuel burning equipment like oven, like furnace, arc furnace, boiler, you name it, smaller, but used for businesses, used for industries, the answer is yes. We have to have notification to the DOE. And the emission standard for that particular equipment, the air impurities that come out from the stack and exhaust of all those smaller equipment is subscribed or is stipulated under fifth schedule. Well, the fifth schedule, yes, you've got hazardous substances, you've got SOx, NOx, etc. So you got to check the fuel that you purchase, and you got to check for the right parameter. Not every parameter in the first schedule. So there you are, your consultant, your auditor needs to understand what sort of parameter is relevant to your equipment, is relevant to your process, is relevant to your process reaction, is relevant to your raw mat. That is why I advise auditors study the process first. Get hold of the process engineer, process planner. Work with them first. Do not just press your NCR here and there. Learn before you audit. Okay, and for consultants, you know better than I do. You are around everywhere, and for trainers, learn, process matters, and tailor them. Tailor your knowledge to the needs and niche of your client, and then you'll be a good consultant, good trainer, good competent person, good auditors. Okay, I am not any of them. Okay, all right, so I'm still learning. So I believe that's about it. Let me check whether I have another